Hey everyone, in this video I am going to be reviewing the Investors Underground Day Trading Chat Room. I'll just start with a brief history. I've been in pretty much every chat room out there, from Timothy Sykes, Warrior Trading, and Bulls on Wall Street, and now I've been in the Investors Underground Day Trading Chat Room for about 6 months. I figured I would just talk about my experience thus far with the Investors Underground chat room, the pros and cons, and hopefully this review will help determine if the chat room will be the right fit for you. I just want to start by pointing out that in the description of this video, I did post a link with special discounted prices for the chat room and DVDs. So definitely check those out before joining if you want to save yourself a couple $100s. I'm going to base this review off of three main things: the chat room itself, the watch list, and the webinars. Okay, firstly, I will begin with the chat room. I will start with the pros and then I will discuss the cons. So, the first thing, Nathan Michaud, who is the owner and head trader of Investors Underground, as well as a lot of the other top traders, will join the chat room as early as 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Eastern Time, and they'll start formulating a plan for the day. Nate will let you know what stocks he'll be focusing on and will formulate a plan so you know what to expect prior to the market opening. For example, he will say, I'm going to start scaling in short of stock XYZ at the open if it rips to 10, and I will give myself about a 30-cent risk. I find this very helpful as I know ahead of time what the game plan is. And in other chat rooms, I found the guru would just alert a stock at the open and be like long at 3, and by the time he alerts it, the stock is already at 320. So that's the first thing that I really like, the fact that Nate and all the other top traders, they're there early, they're formulating a plan, and yeah, it just really helps you be prepared, as there's nothing more frustrating than the guru showing up late and you're just flustered that way. Another thing that I really like is the chat room. It is fairly noise free. There are several chat moderators who will just mute someone from the chat. You won't see people bragging about how much money they made, or alerting a stock that made a high day or low a day, or asking questions in the main chat area, as this just creates so much noise. The third thing that I really like is that you can private message the elite traders in the chat room, such as Nate, Elkwood, Modern Rock, and this in itself was worth the money for me. Picking their brains and learning about their perspective on trades, it's invaluable. These are traders who are making like six figures on a monthly basis from trading, so being able to talk with them daily, it's invaluable. Okay, I'm going to talk about the cons of the chat room now. The first being is that there is no screen share of Nate's screen or audio of Nate talking into a microphone. Rather, it is simply all just text. It is understandable, as Nate has like five or so screens, so it would be simply impossible to do a screen share. However, at the end of the day, Nate does post a daily video of his trades, and he does do a trade recap, so um, that's pretty helpful. Another con is that there is still some noise. However, compared to all the other chat rooms I have been in, it's a lot less. The moderators, they do their best to mute people, and you can actually mute people yourself. So if you only want to see the top traders posting in the chat room, you can easily do this, and this will eliminate a lot of the noise for you. I'm just going to show you guys a quick example of the chat room. This is actually the chat logs from one of the days. I'll post the description in the, or I'll post a link in the description box, and you guys can go over that yourself. I'll just kind of give you an example of what it looks like. as well as a trade recap video that Nate does at the end of every day. Okay, so the second thing I'm going to review now is the watch lists. At the end of the day, typically around 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Nate and a few other traders will post their watch lists for the next day. This is really helpful as you are able to prepare the night before and do your own due diligence to determine if the stock meets your trading criteria. Usually there will be about 5 to 10 stocks on the watch list. The watch list, they are a little brief as far as the plan goes, but Nate does go into more detail in the next morning, as it really depends on whether the stock gaps up or down. Overall, though, I do find the nightly watch lists quite helpful. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the webinars. There's usually a weekly webinar or every other week. They are recorded, so if you can't attend it, then it's not really a big deal. For example, here, this is in December, these were the webinars. So there was a webinar December 6th, December 12th, December 21st, and December 27th. So pretty much every week there was a webinar. Um, the webinars, they're all a little different. Some will be a review of certain trades, others will be questions and answers, or other things going on in the market, such as cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, etc. Overall, I find them pretty useful. I don't really have any complaints, and I really like how you can submit your questions ahead of time to be answered in the webinar. That's about it, folks. I hope I was able to answer some of your questions in this Investors Underground review. Overall, I do recommend the chat room. I have seen significant improvements in my trading, and for me, it is the best chat room I have been in thus far. Remember that I did post a link to specials and discounted prices in the description box of this video, so be sure to check those out if you want to save yourself some money. Thanks for watching. If there's another product or service you want me to review, just post that in the comments. See you next time.